my gosh! This basically confirms that Apple's gonna be switching to a new skeuomorphic design language. Whoa! They already showcased the augmented reality glasses, and the MacBooks are getting Face ID. The circle left out purple, red, and orange, which spells out Pro. That means we're getting the Mac Pro announcement. Pancakes! It's been a long 6 months of Apple not giving us anything but yellow iPhones and Wi-Fi 6E across the Mac lineup, and I guess some new chips in there, but it's now finally official, even though everyone saw this coming from 5 billion miles away. WWDC23 is happening on June 5th, and based on the wording on the website, it seems this will still be a virtual event that developers can attend, but they're still going to be watching a pre-recorded presentation. They just get to hang out with more Apple executives, take pictures with Tim Cook using your Android phone so that you get lots of likes on Twitter, and hopefully have some hardware there to play with. And of course, when I'm referring to hardware, I'm referring to the 15-inch MacBook Air, which will probably come in yellow. But for sure, obviously, it's rightful to expect this to mostly be a software event, because that's pretty much the one thing guaranteed at all developers conferences. But lots of people love breaking down these invites and overanalyzing them, and it seems like the running thesis right now is that all of these, little curved C's are essentially referencing the lenses of Apple Reality Pro, the mixed reality headset, because it looks kind of like two curved lines that someone saw once. And while it would align with the rumors, Mark Gurman has said that Apple has been pushing off the Apple Reality headset for a while, but they're planning on unveiling it at the June keynote. That means that the leakers and everybody is kind of on board with this being the debut, but I'm just trying to preface everyone a little bit of caution based on how wrong so many of us have been when it comes to Apple invite images. But I guess some of you probably want to know my theory. What's my expectation based on this invite image? I think it looks like it looks like Apple Reality Pro is coming. So I still think it's good to be cautious, and even if it is Apple Reality Pro, if we're trusting in the leaks and following the rumors about it and everything, I still am a bit skeptical that this is something we should be excited for. I mean, I'm genuinely curious, especially if all the rumors end up being correct and Apple is actually going to be introducing a brand new product category and enter a new market that they've never entered before. And the main reason I'm curious and very interested is because I am not sold on this technology. I have tried VR headsets and mixed reality headsets, and they all feel like the living room toy. It all kind of feels gimmicky to me, and I've seen Apple publicly ridicule the metaverse and the concept of, the virtual world that we could all slowly move into, surrounded by crypto and NFTs. And I've always thought, based on Tim Cook's comments, that their long-term vision was to get into the glasses space, a wearable that you could wear with you all day, and it would allow for augmented visuals on top of your vision, whereas this, for one, it's rumored to cost like $3,000, and there's already rumors that Apple engineers have warned Apple that the technology is not ready yet, and they gave boardroom presentations on the hardware, and a lot of the board of directors at Apple were like, yeah, I don't know if this is the direction we should be heading in. So if there's some use case, if there's some market that Apple is tackling with this headset that I just haven't completely thought through, I'm curious. I'm very interested to see how they're going to try to convince us that this expensive of a headset is worth it. And similar to the first generation Apple Watch and the first generation iPad and the first generation iPhone, this will likely get a lot of public ridicule. A lot of people will say this is a joke. A lot of people will say this is not worth it. But that is kind of a track record Apple tends to have, showing us what we didn't know we wanted, and sometimes even we don't want it after they showed us. And it takes a few generations for the hardware to get better, for the pricing to get more reasonable, and then we find a way to incorporate it in our daily lives. But there's also a decent chance it could be another one of those original HomePods that a few people bought, and it has kind of a passionate niche, but it's really not a huge field. Same thing with, it could be another AirPower, where it sounded really cool in theory, but then once they tried to mass produce it, they had lots of quality control problems, and I still hear people complaining about iOS stability all the time, so can't imagine how the mixed reality headset software is going to be much better. But even so, though, I'm still just very interested to figure out if my iPhone 10 is gonna get iOS 17. I can't wait to see how boring and how snubbed iPadOS ends up being, and somehow they'll find like 3 new health apps to incorporate in watchOS. But yeah, I'll be covering the rumors leading up to it, and I think this practically guarantees that we're not getting an April event, especially after all the site refreshes we've had in the past couple months. If there was going to be a spring event, I feel like they would have saved the yellow iPhone for that, as well as Apple Music Classical and the new HomePod. There's so many things they could have waited for a spring event, but they decided to launch now, which is why I don't think we're gonna get an event before Dub, but that's okay. I honestly think an event just full of all of the site refreshes we got probably would have been rather boring, so I appreciate Apple not trying to overhype things more than they need to. There's really no point in having an event. Maybe there will be a site refresh before Dub, and those you don't really get much warning for, but these usually are the Apple events announced way in advance, and it's always the first Monday of June, and I will be live streaming my reaction to it, and very curious to see how Tim Cook tries to sell us on these pancake lenses everyone's so excited for. What do you guys think of the invite? Do you think it's just basically the wallpaper that's going to be on the new Pro Display XDR, or is it just abstract artwork of like the rainbow arches at Apple Park, or could it just be the letter C because they're switching to USB-C and AirPods Pro with a USB-C port is about to drop at any time now? Let's overanalyze this together so we can all be proven wrong in a couple months down in the comments below. And thank you to everybody supporting this channel directly. It seriously helps us out a ton, as does just watching these videos. This is your absolute pure. I'll see you all in the next one.